Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining today. We're going to start off with Pat Freiermuth, but a couple quick announcements before we get started. Coach Franklin's press conference is at 12:30 today. If you have not already, please RSVP to that link. In order to attend, you're going to have to RSVP to Kristen Geyer in the Strategic Communications office. We can go ahead and get started. We're going to use the raise your hand feature and I'll call on you. And then Pat will answer your questions. So we're going to start with Rich Scarcella.
Thanks, Chelsea. Pat, thanks for your time today. We know Journey's been through much in his life. Can you express how you are feeling about him today in light of the news last night?
Yeah, I'm not going to get really much into the whole Journey thing. That's for him and Coach Franklin to discuss. But obviously, I'm just going to support him in any way that he needs it. And he's my brother for life, and I'm just going to support him whatever way he needs it.
Max Cerullo.
Hey, Pat, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Hey, it's going good. So, just wanted to say, over the past couple of months, obviously your parents and many of the other Penn State, football parents have played a big role in kind of helping you guys get to where you are now. What can you tell us about the role they've played and, how, just what it's been like for them to be so active in kind of helping you guys through these past couple of months?
Yeah, obviously my parents have been a big advocate for us to play. And I think they did a great job. I think my mother and my dad, they did a great job kind of voicing their opinions and using their voice as parents for myself and obviously for all the players in the team and other Big Ten schools. I think it was really cool that all the Big Ten schools came together and kind of created this whole parents association, like united thing and kind of stood up for us and expressed their doubt on the season that was supposed to happen, but then got canceled. That should have happened. And I'm just, appreciative of my mom and my dad for sticking in and doing what's right. And obviously, it stinks because obviously from Mass, you're from Mass too, but the travel ban and stuff like that to other states, like they're not gonna be able to come to any games, which is very sad and heartbreaking for myself because they haven't missed a game at Penn State from my whole time here. So I'm just really appreciative of them knowing that and still continue to fight, not being selfish and continue to fight for these other parents to come and see their kids play. And I'm just really happy that, that I can call them my mom and dad. And I'm just really appreciative of them.
Awesome. Thanks, Pat.
Tobias Wilborn.
Hey, Pat, man. You mentioned earlier about your parents, and then you said you didn't want to get into anything, but how do you deal with all the emotions that a football season and a pandemic bring, but also still prepare to play football?
Yeah, obviously, like you said, there's a lot of emotions coming with the season, with, being canceled and, just getting put back on and all this kind of wave of this emotional roller coaster that we've been put through. It's definitely tough. But at the end of the day, it's football. And I was talking to Coach Bowen about it last night and when we were game planning Indiana a little bit, just talking about all the different aspects of what's making this year crazy and everything. And just at the end of the day, there's a football field and there's going to be 11 versus 11 and there's going to be a football and we're going to count points to see who wins. And at the end of the day, we have to go out there and control what we can control. And so when I've kind of taken the approach this year, when I'm in the building or I'm doing football, I put my phone away. I kind of block out all the rest of the noise and just focus on what I can do to become better and what I can do to help this team be successful moving forward. So I just kind of think it's kind of a mentality where you just kind of have to block out the noise and just focus on what you can control and focus on what's in front of you.
Tyler Donahue.
Hey, good morning, Pat. Happy game week. I know this is one you've been waiting on.
Yeah, no doubt. I can't wait.
What gives you confidence about where this offense is going to go under Kirk Ciarrocca, specifically in the passing game? The wide receivers getting more involved, Sean Clifford taking a step forward. Normally, we would have seen you guys, throwing balls on the practice field a lot by now. It's been since Dallas in December, so we have really no clue at this point how things are shaping up. What's the most behind the scenes you can give us without giving too much away?
Obviously, the offense is going to be exciting. It's going to be fun to debut this Saturday. And, I think you're going to see a lot of similarities from last year, but obviously there's going to be some wrinkles and just kind of bringing Coach Ciarrocca's background and seeing what he can do and what he puts through the offense. It's awesome. He puts his playmakers in space. I think that's kind of what you can see kind of difference is, last year is it was just, we would call plays and to a coverage, and hopefully, it sticks and all that kind of stuff. But I think this year it's more of, let's get our guys the ball who makes plays, and let's see what they can do and all that. So I think that there's been some really good young receivers and older receivers, especially CSB and Jahan, and Parker, Washington, and Keandre, who've really done some really good things in camp. And when they got the ball and got the opportunity, they made some plays. So I think they're going to have a really big year. And I think that I'm just excited to get this offense rolling and see what we can do.
Audrey Snyder.
Hey, good morning, Pat. What's Coach Shiraka's demeanor, his temperament like on the practice field? We're talking to some of his old quarterbacks. One of them described him as kind of like Napoleon.
Yeah, so he's actually funny. I don't know how to really describe him. Like sometimes like he'll be taught, like when he gives compliments, like he'll like yell at you. You know what I'm saying? So like we'll be like just doing a really good rep or have a good play or score a touchdown or something, and then he'll start yelling, and at the first we were all confused, like we just scored, like what's going on? Why are you yelling at us? But like he intends that to be like fiery, like good job, like he's pumped, that kind of thing. So at first, like, it catches you off guard, and it still catches me off guard sometimes. Like if I make a play in practice and he starts yelling at me, I look at Tebow, I'm like, did he just yell at me? Like, but it's weird. His approach kind of so fiery and yelly, but yeah, I'm excited, and he's an awesome coach, and I just can't wait to see like what he does for game plans and what he does for this Saturday and during games and all that and all the in-game adjustments. So I'm excited to work with him this season.
Joe Giuliano.
Good morning, Pat. Before I ask my question, could you just clarify, you said your parents cannot go to the road games or any games?
They can't go to any games because of a ban on Massachusetts that you can't go to. It's like selective states, I think. So they can't attend any games this year.
Okay, thank you. How are you dealing with the uncertainty of the fact that, COVID is still out there and you're going to be starting to play games now? And how much confidence do you have that, Penn State can get through this about as unscathed as possible?
Yeah, I think this should go back to, we talked about it a lot in the team meeting. Obviously, COVID's out there, and, we've fought for the season to happen. And so we kind of have to back up our words and stuff like that. So, I mean, it goes back to our core values, and especially sacrifice. What we talk about in the team meeting, we must be willing to sacrifice everything to play this season. So, I mean, that's when your parents come to games, maybe you're not going to be able to go out and go to dinner with them after the game, or see them at a hotel the night before, or go out and see your friends outside of football. Like, we're gonna have to make these sacrifices to make this season happen. And I think so far the team's done a great job, and I'm really happy that the season's happening, and the team is taking great pride in not going out and not doing things that we normally can do during the season, but stuff that we can't do this year. The team has done a great job doing that. So, I mean, I think if we continue to follow the protocols and not get lazy and continue to stay on top of things, that we're going to be in a great place.
Mark Brennan.
Pat, what is it like for this week to finally be here after everything that you guys and you personally have gone through in the off season?
It's just such a relief. I mean, me and Cliff, we went in today to stretch and stuff like that this morning. And we were just walking the building with a smile on our face. We started yelling and all that kind of stuff in the building, like game week and all that. So it's awesome just to kind of be able to prepare for something other than practice and going out there and compete on national television and show what we can do, showcase what we can do. And, I've been waiting for this since, December 29th after the Cotton Bowl. And I'm excited to get going. I'm excited to showcase not only my talents, but the whole team's hard work and talents on national television.
Travis Johnson.
Hey, Pat, just curious, in your experience, in your opinion, what are some of the qualities that an offense needs to, be a big play offense? And have you guys had enough time to maybe glimpse any of those?
Yeah. So in my opinion, I think what we kind of talk about is for our offense is, the ball of the program. You can't turn the ball over every single time. You have to, hold on to the ball. You can't create turnovers and all that, because that will come back and bite you in the foot. We have to execute. We go out there and execute our assignments. We don't have to do anything out of our framework of the offense or anything out of what Coach Shark is asking us to do. We have to just do your job. And mentality. At the end of the day, are you going to get the job done or not? Those are the three things we kind of go by. And I think, throughout this camp, it was rough at first, kind of embracing those three mentalities. And you know, we started embracing them and we saw some good things happen. I'm excited to see what the offense is going to do Saturday, and we've really embraced those three things. So I'm excited to, you know, go out there and showcase that.
Ben Jones.
Pat, I'm curious, what's the difference between week one being against a Big Ten team versus week one being maybe more traditional early season opponent? And how do you kind of get ready for the ramped up intensity right off the bat?
I mean, yeah, like you said, like I've never really been a part of playing like I guess a big time team the first week. But you know, we're gonna have to come out and get ready to play. I mean, Indiana's a really good team. They're really fast on defense, and I've heard from what I've heard from the defensive players, they're really good on offense. So we're gonna have to go out and attack, and we can't really have go out there and see what they do. We have to go out and punch them in the mouth first, and we have to go out and, you know, not really and take pride in, you know, this is a big time team and a big time game as our first game. So we can't come out and relax. We got to go out and throw that first punch and continue to fight.
Pat Principe.
Hi there, Pat.
How you doing?
Good. Hey, you mentioned earlier about, you know, it's just a football game, 11 on 11, but you guys haven't played a real tackle football game since the Cotton Bowl. What impact could that have on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, it could have an impact. I don't really expect to have an impact. I think the coaches have done a great job preparing us for this week one game. I think we've done some good live tackling in camp. I think we've done a great job kind of working on tackling and working on breaking tackles and all that such and hitting and blocking stuff with kind of taking care of our bodies. So, I mean, I don't see it really playing a factor in the first game, but I mean, we'll see when we go out there. But I think that we're all in a good spot. I think hopefully it doesn't impact us at all.
Parth Abadaya.
What's up, Pat? Hope you're doing well. For Jonathan Sutherland to wear the first, number 0 for Penn State, James Franklin said that, he's what this program's all about and the way he carries himself. What does that mean for him to get that number first?
Yeah, it means a lot. Jay Suggs is a kind of guy that, I mean, I think the whole team looks up to. I think that he does everything the right way. He comes in every single day and just punches the clock. He has a great routine that he does, and he doesn't go off from that routine. And I think he just does a great job, just kind of showing up and doing what he can do and what he can control. And I think that that's a huge honor for him to be the first player ever to wear number 0 in Penn State history. And I think that he fits all that criteria that was described to be able to wear number 0 and more. I think that he's an awesome guy, and that he's the reason why he's a 2-time captain for us. Everyone looks up to him and everyone respects him. So I think that it's a great honor for him, and I'm happy for him.
Rich Scarcella.
Indiana has given you guys 2 tough games the last 2 years. Why do you think that is? What is it about them? And secondly, you mentioned their defense, but what do you see on film from their defense?
Yeah, I mean, Indiana's a great team. I mean, they're in the Big Ten for a reason, and I think that they're on the come up with their head coach is a great head coach, and their DC and the talent they've been able to recruit. I think that they've done a great job and kind of building talent on that team and then on that roster. I think they play really hard. Their defense is it's a really good defense. 4-3. They play us with a nickel guy. I think they're fast. They have good technique and. They play catch technique and they have some good coverages in the back end, and their D line is great motor people. So I think they're going to come out and they're going to play hard. There's no question about that. But we just got to execute and go back to our assignments and go back to our technique and hopefully go out there and just do what we can do and do what we can control and just go against a really good Big Ten defense.
Tyler Donahue.
I know you don't want to talk about Journey, but how about the other guys in that running back room? A lot of people are going to look nationally and see Penn State's not going to have Journey Brown. How are they possibly going to run the ball effectively? I think we all know better on the local beat. There's a lot of talent and depth at running back. What are you seeing on the practice field that encourages you about the ability to survive this challenge and maybe flourish? And specifically those 2 freshmen that we haven't seen yet, Kevon Lee and Keziah Holmes. Are you getting excited about those guys as well?
Yeah. So I'm obviously, you guys know about Noah, and Noah's going to do what Noah does. He's going to get the ball and break tackles and run through guys and make yards after contact. And I think that Noah's been consistent, and even he's gotten faster. He's gotten bigger. So, I mean, he's worked his tail off the whole off season, and he's come in. He looked really well. He looked really good. So I'm excited for Noah to get his opportunity to go out there and shine. And I think and Devin, I mean, don't sleep on Devin. He's done a really good job too. He's quick and explosive, and he's done a really good job in this offense. I think it suits him really well. He's done a great job at receiving out of the backfield. And same with Kazai and Kevon. I think that they've done a really good job kind of embracing their role and kind of stepping up to the opportunity. I think that Coach Sider's demanded a lot from them, and I think they've responded well. Obviously, you saw the clip of Kazai in the Lions Den, and that kind of just, that was an unreal play by him, and I think he's done that consistently throughout camp. And same with Kevon. I think Kevon's done a great job, and I think that whole Coach Sider done a really good job recruiting that room. So I think, obviously it's going to stink not having Journey, but, I think that, that the running backs are going to do a great job.
Audrey Snyder.
Staying in that room, Pat, what do you think Journey's role can be with this team? Because, we always hear so much, he's such a big personality, guys love him, he's such a leader. What's he been like at practice? Because it is a young running back room, of course, without him.
Yeah, Journey's a great guy, and he's a leader on this team. Everyone looks up to him, even including myself. Everything he's been through, everything that he's stood for, and everything that he's worked so hard for throughout his time here. I look up to him as an individual, and he's done a great job just kind of being there, being someone to lean on, and then just being there for a mentor for the young running backs. That's still a young room. I think Noah he's obviously a sophomore, and same with Devin, but we got 2 freshmen coming in, and I think that he's done a great job just kind of being their big brother, and just helping them out and seeing things that maybe they don't see, but he sees, and he's just done a great job. And I think everyone in the whole program looks up to him, and I think everyone's just happy for the other running backs to see what they can do.
Ubias Wellborn.
You kind of answered what I was going to ask, but I guess I'll frame it this way: not the player, but just the man. What will you miss about him as a person, him as a guy being on the field with you, and just the experiences that you guys have had together?
Yeah, Journey's still going to be there. Journey's always in the building, and I always hang out with Journey. And, I hang out with him all the time, and that's my brother. And like I said, I look up to him, and Journey's just a great man, and off the field, he's just a great guy. Everyone in the whole team looks up to him, like I said, and including myself, and everyone. If I had the mentality that Journey had, I would be 10 times better as a man I am. I think that Journey is a great guy. I think that I can't speak enough good things about him, and I think that he's going to be a great, successful person moving forward.
Okay, we have time for one more for Pat, so we'll go with Tyler Donahue.
Pat, if I could ask you to shift your focus to the defensive side of the football. Brandon Smith's the guy getting a lot of attention. Seems to be the kind of versatile defender that may be on tight ends on game day. What are you seeing from the offensive side of things that he presents that's going to give offenses issues?
Yeah, he's a freak. Obviously physically, he's he's a great guy. He's a great guy on the field. He's athletic. He's a freak. He's fast. He's strong. Trying to block him on outside zone is not my most favorite thing to do during camp. He sets the edge really well, and great guy in coverage. So I'm excited to see him, what he can do throughout the season, and I'm excited to him get his chance. I think he stepped up to that role with Micah leaving, but I think he's going to do a really good job, and he's ready for it.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks everyone. Jesse Lucchetta will be up in just a minute or two.